So, Jason, there's always the question of business valuation. Business owners have their perspective on what their business is worth. And of course, there is the buyer's perspective from what they'll be willing to pay for a business. But it all comes down to what's the fair market value of the business. Can you please explain a little bit how IAG helps sellers value their business so that they can get it in the market and get it sold?
Sure, absolutely. Well, first step is to look at the quality of the financials and see if we can get out of those financials all the add backs and adjustments to then go into the valuation report. And valuation is a more of an art than a science. So there's really not one multiple for every company, and you can't always look at comparables like selling a home in the marketplace or selling something else. There's a lot that goes into these valuations, a lot of methodologies, and usually the folks that are doing the valuations have had hundreds and hundreds of hours of training to properly evaluate a business because this is the largest transaction that many of our clients will ever have, and you only have one chance to do it right. So we want to make sure we capture all the value in the business we can, and then have a way to defend that to the marketplace if need be. But ultimately, the true value of a business is what someone's willing to pay for it. So under the right conditions that we hopefully can create by getting it in front of the right buyers, multiple buyers looking at these businesses and working with a very experienced transaction specialist who can get creative, can help the buyer get over some issues, can be the go-between between buyers and sellers because both parties have two goals in mind. Buyer wants to pay the least, seller wants to get the most. So how an intermediary or a transactions analyst can help bridge that gap and create a win-win scenario, that's what we do. So the valuation is just the starting point. We have to know what the fair market value is, but until we get into the marketplace and start talking to buyers, that's when the real magic happens.
So a lot like the real estate market, you set a selling price that you come up with through your valuation process. But if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is once you position it correctly, once you position the book correctly, there's a lot of opportunity for multiple buyers to come in and offer above the selling price or the list price anyway. Is that correct?
Yep, we've seen some pretty extremely high multiples in our time. If you just looked at an evaluation or looked at a standard industry multiple of 3 to 5 times adjusted EBITDA, we got our client 10 times adjusted EBITDA because of that scenario. The competition, we had multiple buyers, and it was a strategic offer. And our goal when we're pulling a buyer list is to make sure there are strategic buyers in that buyer list, as well as the other type of buyer types, like your private equity groups, like your family offices. And that kind of competitive environment will typically give our clients the best deal.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason.